I'm sitting here with a friend, Ron Swanson, I always call him, or you have Ronald Swinson, or you have Ronnie Swinson, as they call him on the album. He sang with a group called the Soul Caravan, which their first album was in 1967, and it starts showing up quite frequently now on YouTube. So I thought this would be interesting. So Ron can tell how the group started out and how they got together during this time. This was taking place in Wiesbaden, Germany, in the 1960s. Ah, okay, Ron.
Yes, we got started, James and I got started by going to a talent show. And at that particular time, we got together and started singing the song, What's Your Name? And James has a nice first tenor voice, and I have a second to baritone
What was
voice.
the song? What's your name? What was that? What did that sound like?
What's your name? I have seen you before.
Ah, okay.
So we got excited about going on this talent show, and the fellow told us no, we couldn't go on that night. So we went back to the base, and we found another guy in our barracks that played guitar. And
Because you were in the Air Force.
right.
This was, yeah, okay.
So when I got back to the base, we practiced a song from the Isley Brothers called Shout. So we were so enthused about that particular song, we asked the fellow to come with us to this talent show. So we performed Shout for about 10 minutes, and people seemed to like it. And that was our first venture of singing out in public.
Yeah.
Secondly, when we got to do that, this fellow, I forgot his name, but he wanted us to perform with another group called the Esquires, and we performed with them for about 4 or 5 months. And
What kind of music did they do?
they did basically soul music,
Yeah.
definitely soul music.
Yeah.
And from that band, we met a guy on the bass by the name of Skip, and he wanted us to sing with their band, which was basically a jazz group.
Well, was Skip in the, he was in the Air Force?
Skip also was in the Air Force from New York.
Uh-huh, okay.
And
Now, was Skip a black guy?
no, Skip is a white guy.
Oh, okay, uh-oh.
White guy.
Okay.
We were the only two blacks in this group.
And this is 1967.
Right, it's right the cornerstone of the civil rights movement. And what made us popular was that we were a group of college students, which were Hans and Tim, and we had one guy who was working with as a city auditor, I believe the city auditor, and we had one guy who was in the German army. So it was sort of an eclectic group of guys, as you could say.
Yes.
And we were sort of a group that we're a show band.
Yeah.
We like to do splits and play with the microphone and, just enjoying people. And we get the feedback.
Your interaction on stage
interaction
with the
on
crowd.
stage with the crowd. And what's so nice about it is that we were a band that was interracially mixed.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people took towards us because of that factor.
Yeah.
But as far
Interracially and internationally.
right. So I say our claim to fame is at that time was that we had places that we performed was on the base, on different bases, Army and Air Force bases, and the general public of the German sector. So we was quite popular.
Yeah.
And other than that, we have performed with such greats as Aretha Franklin. I didn't perform with the James Brown group, but the group has performed with James Brown. We performed at the Star Club that the Beatles had performed some years around that same time, and we just had a good time. We did a show with the Stones, but I wasn't with the Stones then. I had left the band at that particular time. But
So they started to increase in popularity after you got the foundation going.
Yes, James.
Which was kind of where this album came up.
Right.
Because it said a lot on the internet that this was the first of 3 albums, but it's a totally different flavor from the other ones. The other ones are just musical; they're just jazz after that.
Well, they got more into we started going into more psychedelic music, and
As
like
the
I
late
said,
'60s, yeah.
right. And the other part of it is that these guys were basically jazz musicians from the start.
Yes.
They got the soul part from James and I.
Yeah.
And the idea that we were.
And that was your club. That was the club draw. Was you two being the lead vocalists.
Exactly.
In the band.
Exactly.
So you could dance to it, and people knew the words, and that was the attraction.
Yes.
I heard, because I was hearing on the record a lot of the songs that you did. You know, what was one of them? I was trying to think from this album.
Shotgun.
Yep, yeah. Shotgun. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who originally did that. I remember the tune well.
Junior Parker.
And then what was Redding, our Otis Redding.
Yeah, we loved Otis Redding.
Yeah, sitting by the dock of the bay.
Yeah.
And then there was one, I can't remember what the middle one was. Maybe it was the title to the album that you were credited with part of it. What was it called? High?
Get in High.
Get in High.
Yeah, well, that was part of that culture during the time where people were smoking weed.
Yeah.
But you know, we were all young, and I wasn't a weed smoker. I preferred drinking scotch at that time.
Yeah.
But you know, that's part of the culture, and you had to accept it.
Yeah. Were you surprised? We've been talking about this for years. You've been talking, and I paid attention to some of it, and some of it I just kind of blow off. And yeah, he's got an album floating out there somewhere. I thought, okay, let me just see. So I thought, I'm going to look and see if this actually exists. And it was there. Were you surprised when I found it on YouTube?
Yes, I was surprised. I've have got some other bites of information from my daughter, but to see it on YouTube, I really was shocked.
And then seeing the popularity of it and how many times it's been reproduced online, it's really kind of, everything's regenerating and it's picking up steam again.
Well, I think that's a nice thing, but you know, at this time I'm out of the music business. I have raised a family and gone to college, and that was one of the things that my father wanted me to do.
Yeah.
And he died prior to me getting out of the military.
Yeah.
So I give credit for the guys in the band. I wish them well during that period of time, but at the same time, I had to follow my father's laws and his rules. And
it was time to move on and get a real job.
You got that. But, you know, I say just the fact that I had an opportunity to go to Europe, to England, Denmark, Holland, has given me, also France, have given me an insight that normally I wouldn't have gotten.
That's true.
And with the group, I've met a lot of nice people from all over the world.
Yes.
Gypsies, people from Iran, people from Egypt.
Yeah.
And this has carried on with my life as well today. I had an opportunity to go to Mexico, go to Canada, been down to Argentina, and presently living in Brazil.
But not sharing your music down there as of yet.
No.
But who knows?
That's right. Never know what life has for you.
We may yet see you again on vinyl.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.